So you want to exclude him from entering the house or getting any of his property, and you want him to continue to pay for all of your bills, and you won't even allow him to access the house? Is that correct?
He doesn't live here.
Yes or no?
He doesn't live here, so no, he doesn't need to access the house.
But he's paying the mortgage, right?
Okay. He's paying the mortgage.
And he's got his personal belongings in there, right?
Right. And I'm more than willing to put all of them out for him.
You first testified that you've been in 2 car accidents within the last 7 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
First one being in 2018?
Yeah.
Were you employed at that time?
No, I was a stay-at-home mom.
How old was your daughter?
In 2018, approximately 10 years old, I believe.
When was the last time that you had a job?
I believe it was in 2000 and, give me a moment, please. 2008 and 2009 or 10.
When you stopped working in 2010, what was the reason?
Because we were full-time homeschooling. I was full-time homeschooling our daughter.
So you did that from 2010 till 2012?
No, until she graduated high school.
What year was that?
Let's see, she's 20. So 2020, 18, 20, she's about to be 21. That was 2022.
Okay. So have you ever been without food or gas or money to buy those things?
No, because my husband provided it.
Okay. So your husband's never not provided anything for you. Is that what you're saying?
Other than currently.
How often do you go to physical therapy?
2 to 3 times a week.
Has the doctor specifically said that you cannot work?
They've said not to lift anything heavy.
So then no?
No, they just said don't be doing anything strenuous or really, lifting anything or any kind of.
When was the last time you applied for a job?
It's been a while, but I haven't had a car.
But you testified that you are driving actually your husband's father's truck, isn't that correct?
That is correct, but he has called me over the past 3 months and said that as soon as y'all start having hearings, you are to call me and let me know because I need my vehicle back. My vehicle's totaled out in the insurance settlement, and they only gave me about, a very small amount.
What amount did they give you?
Approximately $3,000.
Did you deposit? I'm assuming it was a check.
There is a check. I have not deposited it.
Why haven't you deposited that check?
Because I'm still in negotiations for the property damage. I was hoping to get an additional $500 for my daughter's cell phone.
So you do have access to money. You're just choosing not to deposit the money.
I don't have access to money to spend on food and utilities. I do not want to spend the money for my vehicle because if I spend that money on the utilities, then I will have nothing to buy a used, dependable vehicle.
So you're saying that you haven't ever been without food, but you have no money to buy food? So where is that money coming from?
My mother's been loaning me money.
Has at any time the joint account balance ever been at zero?
No, but I think $36 is pretty low. It's very
you said it was 175 and another 50.
Right. About 3 weeks ago, it was spent down to about $36.
And he's been doing that throughout.
Pretty much. I mean, there was a time that it did go down to zero. The battery went out on the borrowed vehicle that I'm using, and when I tried to use our joint banking account, it said insufficient funds. My daughter was present when I went to purchase a new vehicle.
Can y'all stop talking over one another?
Yeah, sorry, Your Honor. I think there's a delay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Honestly, there's not a delay. Y'all are talking over one another. You're not finishing your question before the answer is starting. And then he also continues to talk past answering your question, and then you go on to the next question. So stop talking over one another.
You, as one of your exhibits, it's an account statement from a mutual fund. Is that correct?
Yes.
When was that statement from?
I don't have that date in front of me.
6/30/2023 is what I see on this statement. Does that sound correct to you?
I believe so.
So that's nearly 2 years ago.
Correct.
Are you aware that account has already been cashed out?
No, I was not aware of that.
Do you have online access to this joint account?
No, I don't.
How did you know it was at zero?
I didn't know that it was at zero. You just said that it was at zero. I did not know that it was at zero. I have not seen that on any of our bank statements when I log in.
Has he asked you to get a job?
No, he hasn't actually.
Never in your entire marriage?
Not recently, but when my daughter was little.
In the last 5 years, say, he's not once ever asked you to get a job?
No, he has not.
Okay. And you haven't felt the need?
No, not while I was a full-time stay-at-home homeschooling mother.
And your daughter graduated in what year?
3 years ago.
It's your testimony that your husband never asked you to get a job and you never felt the need to do that or apply anywhere. Is that correct?
He asked me to get a job when my daughter was younger.
Did he ask you to get a job in the last 5 years?
No, he did not.
You said he moved out of the house. When was that?
Approximately February 17th of 2024.
When did you change the locks?
2 or 3 months ago.
December?
Approximately. I don't really know what date.
Did you change the locks prior to this petition being filed?
Yes.
Did you inform Mr. Rexwinkle that you were going to do that?
No, I did not.
Did you provide him a key?
No, I did not.
Did he offer to come to the house to get some things while you weren't there?
I believe so.
So what was the reason that for over a year you haven't allowed your husband to have access to any of his belongings in that house?
I'm more than happy. I've been more than willing to put whatever belongings he wants outside neatly.
So you want to exclude him from entering the house and you want him to continue to pay for all of your bills and you won't even allow him to access the house? Is that correct?
He doesn't live here.
Yes or no?
He doesn't live here, so no, he doesn't need to access the house.
But he's paying the mortgage, right?
He's paying the mortgage.
And he's got his personal belongings in there, right?
Right.
How much cash is at the house?
There is no cash at the house.
What about the $20,000 that in cash that was set aside for payment of the outstanding lien on the house?
There is not $20,000.
Are you asking the court today to continue to allow you to not work and continue to force your husband to provide for all of your living expenses and help you convince your father-in-law to let you keep that truck?
No, I don't plan on not continuing to work. I'm asking for spousal support for a few months. I can purchase a dependable vehicle so that I can apply for a job.
I'm assuming that that's all. You're also going to be using that to pay the mortgage, correct?
No.
So you're asking for $2,000 and payment of the mortgage?
Yeah.
But you did say that you're planning to get a job?
Yeah, once I have dependable transportation to get to that job.
So when are you planning to start applying for jobs?
When I have dependable transportation to get to a job.
Do you have dependable transportation today?
It's dependable, but they want it back.
Did you have it yesterday?
I had it yesterday.
Did you have it since this case was filed?
Yes.
How long have you had the vehicle?
For approximately 6 months.
Are you a good housekeeper, Ms. Rexwinkle?
I would assume I am.
What would you say the current state of that marital home is right now? Would you say it's ready to show?
No. I'm in the process of because I'm packing up belongings and so it's not ready to show.
Well, you testified earlier that you were concerned about husband coming in to get his belongings because you didn't want him to take any pictures. And I'm wondering what you're worried about him taking pictures of.
Yes, I have boxes stacked everywhere, trying to get ready for getting rid of stuff.
How long do you think that's going to take you?
Once I've established some type of support, I estimate, 30 to 60 days.
Are you willing, once you get the stuff packed up, to allow Mr. Rexwinkle back into the house?
Yes, once I have my belongings and I'm basically moved to my mother's, and I don't have to feel frightened that he's going to go in and take any of my belongings or anything like that.
Has he ever taken any of your belongings before?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. He took some documents and statements.
You have presented multiple exhibits of real estate listings currently, is that correct?
Yes.
Is it your understanding of how the real estate market works that you don't actually get paid for actually just listing a home? Is that your understanding?
For listing, correct. No, you don't get paid for listing.
And how many properties has he sold this year?
I believe 3.
When was that?
I don't have it memorized, but it's entered in the exhibit end of March, April 1st, and there is another one that has not been entered into exhibit, but I think it was for like $345,000 sold. That was listed on the heart.
Why wasn't that entered into the exhibit?
Because I found it in a different place.
Where'd you find it?
One of the realtor sites.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your answer. Where did you find it?
I can't remember which site, but his commissions, I believe, have totaled for this year a significant amount, enough for him to be able to provide me with spousal support.
No further questions, Your Honor. I pass the witness.
You may call your next.
Call Mr. Rexwinkle. Mr. Rexwinkle, did you cut the utilities at your wife's residence?
I did, and I gave her notice.
You're currently dating Coyle, is that correct?
Correct.
As far as your current income, did you bring anything here today to show what your current income is?
I've got it pulled up in front of me. I've closed on 2 properties this year and 4 lease properties.
Did you bring a financial information statement?
I did not.
Up and until cut the electric, you had been paying the mortgage, right?
Correct.
And you paid all the utilities, is that right?
Correct.
And you gave her a monthly allowance, is that correct?
I wouldn't say I gave her an allowance. There was money in the bank account that she had access to.
The vehicle she drives now, that's your father-in-law.
No, it's my stepdad's truck.
You have a vehicle right now?
I do.
And that's a 2015 Ford F-150?
Correct.
That's paid off, is that right?
Correct.
Is there any money that you have in Robinhood right now?
Like $4, I believe.
And you didn't bring evidence of how much money you have in here in there today, is that correct?
I can pull it up on my phone and send you a screenshot. I heard that Robinhood had been closed and the funds had been deposited into our joint account.
The Matson money account, is that account still active?
Yes, it is. The current account value is $8,371.30.
What objections do you have to listing the house that the wife is in for sale, let's say by July 1st, 2025?
None.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
We just want to pause for a moment and interject. This case raises important legal questions. So the wife is jealous over the husband's new girlfriend. If you've made it this far, buckle up, because if you thought the wife was resentful, wait until you hear from the adult daughter, who seems a tad bit jealous when dad bought her a less expensive Valentine's Day gift than his new girlfriend. I guess what they say is true. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Okay, Mr. Rexwinkle. What do you believe needs to be done prior to that date in order to get it ready for listing?
Once Christy has all of her stuff out, we're going to have to replace the carpet. Interior is going to need to be completely painted. House will need to be landscaped. Just general make ready. Beyond that,
What is the current condition of the house?
I don't know. I have not been allowed in.
What was the condition of the house when Christy changed the locks?
It was messy. It looked like a hoarder's home.
Oh my gosh.
When was the last time you've been in the house?
I guess when I was over there November of last year.
Had she already changed the locks at that time?
I don't know.
You're a realtor, correct?
Yes.
Is your income based 100% solely off commission?
Yes.
The only time that you really know how much you are going to make is when a house closes.
Correct.
Are you asking the court to allow you to be the one to sell the house?
I would like to do that. I just want to get it sold. If it'll save, it would save us, $8,000 or $9,000. The important thing to me is just get it going.
Once you sell the house, the proceeds, that'll obviously go toward paying off the outstanding debt on the house. Is there anything else that those proceeds need to go towards?
Currently, there's a lien on the house, approximately $100,000. I would be thrilled if we walked away with $50,000.
You've already said that the Matson account that they showed as an exhibit, for all intents and purposes, empty. So essentially,
What happened to the other $70,000?
The real estate market has been way down, and I pulled it out, put it into our joint account, and used it to continue to keep a roof over my wife's head and my daughter's head.
And do you have any other bank accounts other than the ones that have been shown to the court?
Yes, I have a Chase bank account.
How much is in that?
Approximately $5,000.
Continue.
when do you expect to have your next closing?
I don't know. I don't have anything in escrow right now.
Do you expect to close on anything in May?
I haven't, probably not, because I don't have anything in escrow currently.
So that $5,000 is all that you have to live on right now, is that correct?
Correct. And then I've got, pay the mortgage with that tomorrow. And I had also told Christy that, she could use the joint account to pay the utilities. I just didn't want them in my name. I was afraid that she might decide to, run them up and I'm just, frankly, I want to be done with all this. And I want her to start taking care of herself and, paying her own bills. And even if she's paying them out of our joint account, I don't want to be responsible for that.
Throughout the marriage, does she have a history of being responsible about paying bills?
No.
Does she have a history of being irresponsible about bill paying?
Yes.
Have you asked your wife to get a job?
A dozen over the years.
Okay, when was the last time?
Sometime within the last couple of years, because the real estate market's been very bad, and quite frankly, I needed help. It was a huge burden.
What was her response?
But she wasn't going to go back to work.
And she didn't give a reason?
No, she just refused.
Your wife mentioned that she was not comfortable with you in the house. Have you ever physically assaulted your wife before?
No, we've had some arguments that have gotten a bit physical. Actually assaulted her, no.
Did you ask your wife for access to the house?
Multiple times.
And what was her response?
No. I get my real estate signs from her for the past week. She finally said that she'll set them out for me so I can pick them up tomorrow.
Your wife has testified that she's asking the court today for 90 days of support to assist her until she can get a job. Do you have any objection?
I'm more than happy to continue paying the mortgage and for her to continue paying the utilities out of our joint account.
How much money would you say that you put into that joint account each month in order to support her?
$3,000 to $4,000 probably.
You put $3,000 or $4,000 in the joint account that she uses each month?
Yes.
So it's your testimony today that you essentially have $5,000 and no reliable source of income for, at the very least, the next month?
Probably.
Mr. Busby mentioned that you had a girlfriend. Are you spending money on this woman?
No, in fact, she actually buys more often than I do.
How much money have you spent on your girlfriend this month?
Maybe $100. I don't know.
And what was that for?
Diet Cokes.
Did you say Diet Cokes?
Yes.
And how much money would you say your girlfriend has spent on you?
Quite a bit, probably $400 or $500.
And what was that for?
Just taking me out to dinner and hanging out.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
I call the witness in the waiting room is Brady McLaren.
I object to that. I didn't have notice of this witness.
What's your legal objection?
Lack of notice. And two, I don't know that this party has any relevant information that isn't from, the actual parties to the suit.
Well, you can make the proper objections whenever she's asked a question. Let the record reflect this witness was previously sworn. Mr. Busby, you may continue.
Ms. McLaren, please state your full legal name.
Brady Avery McLaren.
And you are the daughter of the parties here today, Christine and Mr. Retzwinkle, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In the last 4 months, how many times has Mr. Retzwinkle told you he's taken Miss Nikki Cole out?
Pretty much every single week since November.
And to your knowledge, what type of gifts, if any, has he gifted to her?
I know that he got her a necklace and earrings from Kendra Scott for Valentine's Day.
How do you know that he bought her a Kendra Scott necklace?
Because he bought me a Kendra Scott bracelet, and then she posted it on her Facebook story with the song Love by Frank Sinatra, and he confirmed it.
Did you ask him how much he spent on it?
Yeah.
Did he tell you how much he spent?
A little over $100. And then on my bracelet, he spent $70 because I returned it, so I know how much it was.
Do you know where that money came from?
No, I'd assume from his job.
And then you testified that he is taking her out to dinner every week. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And have you been there at any of those dinners?
No, but he's told me, oh, I'm out to dinner with Nikki.
Did he tell you Nikki's picking up the bill?
No.
Did he tell you he's picking up the bill?
Several times, yeah.
Did he tell you how much he spent?
No, but it would be safe to assume at any restaurant you're at least going to spend over $20.
He told you, I am out to dinner and I'm picking up the bill, correct?
Several times, not every single week, but several times.
All right, you're out of time. Anything else, Mr. Busby?
No, you don't.
All right, thank you for being here today. I don't believe any additional testimony is needed from you at this time, and you are released.
My name is Michael Busby. I'm an attorney licensed in Texas. I've been licensed since 2002. The rate I charge is $425 per hour. I would ask the court to consider reasonable and necessary attorney's fees to prosecute this case, and I pass myself as witness.
I feel for you, ma'am and sir. I understand the state of this economy is really rough. It also seems like y'all have a lot of expenses, both in the past and coming up. And y'all have a lot of, you'll still have life to live. Ma'am, you have a $3,000 check for a car. And that's how much of a car you had before. So that's what you have to buy a car. I hate to be that guy, but that's the reality of it. I don't know where any more money is going to come from. The $78,000 was from 2023 and it's been depleted. Probably from living expenses, probably from a wedding to plan. I just don't know where we're going to get any more money for attorney's fees, for cars, for spousal maintenance. because all we have is $5,000 right now plus $8,000 in a retirement account. So he doesn't have $2,000 a month to give you right now from his job because he is going to make no money in May. So, all right, I find that this court has jurisdiction over this matter. I'm going to order standard mutual injunctions. The move-in is awarded exclusive use of the marital property. Husband is awarded exclusive use of his F-150. Parties are to pay the bills for the marital residence out of the joint account. If it runs out, I don't know what to tell y'all. I hope it doesn't run out. We have $5,000 to make it not run out, but that's not going to last 3 months. Request for interim attorney's fees is denied. There's no funds for it. It's my understanding that the parties agree and stipulate to put the house on the market by July 1st, 2025. So I will approve that agreement.
I thought it was July 21st.
July 21st is fine with me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
A husband needs to get his stuff out of the house. You're going to need to be out of the house for 2 hours, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for him to go get his stuff. Court will see y'all on July 22nd then.
Your Honor, could we get an order for mediation? Go ahead and order someone from the wheel. That'll be fair.
Well, if it pleases the court, I don't know how much that's going to cost, and that can be $300, $800, and my client, if that's the case, we need to go to the DRC.
I don't order DRC. You can order y'all to mediation. If y'all agree to somebody outside of that order, then that's up to y'all. Going to do a wheel appointment. All right, entry on this or temporary order will be May 23rd at 8:00 a.m. by submission.
Your Honor, can we just clarify on the utilities that the parties are just ordered to pay them and the husband does not have to fund the account, so there's no spousal support at all or no funding for the utilities?
I can't order spousal support if there's no money for it. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have making money. He's not making money. He's making zero money in May.
The record reflected he has no expenses with his parents, and he has no car note and $5,000 in the bank. I understand the mortgage is an expense and he's paying that, but otherwise...
There's already money in the joint account that can be used for the utility, and he's funding that joint account with his job. He doesn't have a job right now. Does that make...
Well, he has a job because he has listings, and he has listings that he may not have a pending closing, but he has income that's coming in over the last several months, which my client has done. Plus, he has an IRA with $8,000, so that's kind of where, there may be $150 in there that can pay some utility. That becomes the issue, that when it's not paid and he doesn't fund it, and we're gonna have our utilities shut off again. So I just I want to clarify, or it is not. If that's the ruling, that's ruling. But it's
that's the ruling. He doesn't have funds. He doesn't have money. She doesn't have money.
Yes, thank you.
Y'all are excused.